AITA for wanting hot food? Originally posted in r, Am I the Asshole by you, it's too cold for that. Reminder. I am not the oop. AITA for wanting hot food? Posted January 3rd. Yesterday I went ice skating with my girlfriend. Tuesday is one of her days for dinner. So she made chicken salad. When I saw the chicken salad, I admit I made a face. She was like, "What? What's the problem?" Quote, I said that we were outside in the cold all afternoon and I wasn't really in the mood for cold food. She said we're inside. The heat is set to 74 degrees and we're both wearing warm dry clothes. Said it was plenty warm enough to eat salad. I said sure, but I just wanted something warm to heat me up on the inside. She said that was ridiculous. Because my internal temperature is in the 90s and my insides are plenty hot. At this point, we were going in circles. So I said I was just going to heat up some soup and told her to go ahead and start eating and I'd be back in a few minutes. When I came out of the kitchen with my soup, she was clearly upset. And she asked how I would feel if she refused to eat what I made tomorrow. Which is today. I said I won't care. And she said that was BS. Because it's rude to turn your nose up at something someone made for you. Was I the asshole for not wanting cold salad after being cold all day? Notable comment. Right? Geez babe. This looks great. That can of tomato soup we have would go great with it. I'm going to hear it up. Would you like a bowl? It's not like Op had to cook it from scratch or have it delivered. Soup and sandwich is a pretty popular combo. Verdict. Asshole. Update. No longer cooking for my girlfriend. Posted January 6th. Wednesday after I served the plates. My girlfriend said she didn't want pasta and was going to make a salad. I was pretty sure she was going to do this. And it didn't bother me. I waited for her to come back to start eating. And when she sat down, I tried to talk to her about her day. She asked if I was trying to make a point. I asked what she meant. She asked if I cared that she wasn't going to eat what I made. I said that I didn't and would have it for lunch. She got frustrated, focused on her salad and wouldn't engage with me. After dinner, I said we shouldn't make dinner for each other anymore. She asked why I thought that. And I said it's clear that she gets upset when she makes food for someone and they don't eat it. It would be better for us just to make separate meals so we each know we will get what we want and no one's feelings would be hurt. She said it wasn't okay for me to make a unilateral decision about our relationship. I said that I wasn't. But I didn't want to cook for her anymore or have her cook for me if it was going to make her upset. We kind of went round and round on it. Until the conversation petered out. She texted me at work Thursday that she was going to make salmon. I decided that if she tried to cook for me I would just let her so she'd feel like she won one over on me and we'd draw a line under this. She ended up making salmon only for herself, which I was surprised by, because I was expecting her to try to convince me to have some. I made myself a quick omelet and sat down with her. She asked if I was upset she didn't cook for me, and I said no. Again, she accused me of making a point. She asked if I was going to cook for her Friday, and I said no. She was put out. Friday she was upset that I made only enough curry for one person and called me greedy. At this point I'm over it all, so I just ignored her. Notable comment. You can stick to your guns. You'll lose the relationship. But if it's really worth it to you, keep doing what you're doing. But you do realize this isn't about the food at all, right? You hurt her feelings and showed zero remorse. She's trying to repeat your actions to you so that you can empathize with where she's coming from. Instead, you're choosing to go out of your way to keep making separate meals so you can pretend those feelings weren't valid. And you were rude. You should have apologized. Couples share meals. Maybe not every meal, but most. When they are in the same location. So you can keep stubbornly making separate meals. Which is obviously not what she wants. But you won't stay a couple. mostly because it emphasizes on a daily basis how little you care about her feelings. But hey, you do you. Tagging as inconclusive as there is no way this is over. For extra entertainment, check out their comments on the Am I the Devil repost reminder. I am not oop. Do not brigade their post. Oh, this is definitely over, at least relationship-wise. They already broke up, it's just that neither of them have realized it yet. What a ride. In the context of the first post, he's pretty frustrating. Not for what he did. I would have wanted warm food and done the same. But for the way he did it. And for not reacting to her hurt feelings. Like a brief, "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't want to hurt your feelings and I appreciate when you cook." Should be all that's needed. But, in the context of the second post, GF is going for petty revenge. And protecting his emotions by not reacting to it is the right call. This also changes my feelings on the first post if this is habitual behavior on her part. He needs that sort of distance. And should maybe consider getting out of this relationship. In the context of his comments. And reading into the second post, it seems like he doesn't get that someone's feelings could be hurt. And doesn't really seem to care if they did. And that just makes this a mess. And I wouldn't want to deal with either of them. These people both act like they're 5-year-olds playing house. This is such a weird dynamic to me. My husband and I both cook. We each have our preferences and specialties. Just this week I wasn't feeling 100%. So I had a buttered muffin instead of the pasta he made for the family. He already made enough for lunch. So it just turned into lunch for the next day. No one was offended. I didn't make something I knew he wouldn't like the next day and poke at him asking if he's trying to prove a point. We sat, ate our dinner and moved on with our lives. Yeah, I remember this guy just taking the posts only at face value. The GF seems a bigger asshole when both are immature children. But if you look at the breadth of his comments, he's a piece of work himself. Oop clearly checked out of the relationship ages ago and doesn't care to make an effort because apparently GF is leaving the country soon once school is over. It's just a story if two people who suck forcing a relationship along because one or both get something material out of it, e.g. regular sex or some other convenience. I don't get the responses. Maybe Op could be more tactful, but it's not like she cooked a 5-course meal and he decided to have ramen. What's the big deal of him wanting to eat something else? She tried to tit for tat him repeatedly to make him feel bad and got more upset when he didn't rise to her bait. I see all the esh and am confused. Guy came in and wanted something warm, said so when she made a suggestion about what was for dinner. Explained why he wasn't a fan. And when she didn't want to change, made his own soup. That seems reasonably normal. If my wife hadn't wanted something I made like pasta or steaks because she wanted a different thing, she's had no problem making or ordering it, and it means nothing because hunger is such a weird, specific of the moment thing and worst case leftovers. Then in the update she seems upset that he's not upset by her trying to push his buttons. Like personally the thing I hate most in any relationship is mind games. Like to me it seems it's not about getting him to understand her but making sure she wins. So originally I read the posts and thought, there seems to be some context missing. The missing context is that Oops GF is going to be leaving the country as she's on a student visa. And something tells me that all of these interactions are probably stemming from unaddressed issues around that core aspect of the relationship. I didn't understand all the YTA. He was rather rude how he went about it, but the GF getting all offended afterwards was an asshole move. That people think he should eat things he doesn't want to for the sake of the relationship is bizarre. I have to be honest, but I don't understand all the negativity towards this guy when his girlfriend is playing manipulative mind games. Drag me for it, but he's not in the wrong here. I can't get over the whole chicken salad is a sandwich thing. When I first read it on AITA, I was really weirded out by people suggesting tomato soup with it. You know how disgusting would it be to pour tomato soup into it? It really was a salad with chicken, not a sandwich, guys. I don't understand. Is he really the asshole here? When my family makes a meal, some of us don't want, we just say go cook something for yourself. And then we do. End of story. No one gets upset about it. You two are already over and it's not about food. Kiwi fruit. I mean, I know he didn't handle it the best way, but Oop wasn't being a dick. He didn't tell her that her food was gross or that she's a bad cook. He didn't try to tell her to make him something else or get all put out that he would have to make his own food. I know it's verboten to say that someone is overreacting to a perceived insult, but dude's girlfriend is overreacting. And people keep talking about how he's refusing to see it from her pav, completely overlooking the fact that she's also refusing to see it from his pav. She insists he's trying to make a point and thumb his nose at her, refusing to accept that he really just isn't bothered by her not wanting what he cooked and doesn't mind having to make his own food. Like, he understands that it upset her, but he's not willing to play along, and I don't see that as a dick move. He's a grown-ass adult and should be able to eat what he wants. If they'd talk about what's for dinner beforehand, it might help, but I feel like, if she told him what she was making and he made any comment about it, she'd get upset anyway, which defeats the purpose. He also tried to solve the problem by having them cook for themselves, which eliminates the possibility entirely. But she wants him to cook for her, so that's not acceptable. I think they just might not be compatible, because there's no way this kind of disconnect is limited to just dinner time. This is such a weird post, not because of the post itself, but because of the responses to it. It's not an asshole move to avoid food that you don't wish to eat. That's basic bodily autonomy. Saying that Oop could have eaten the salad with the soup means nothing because he didn't want the salad. Nothing rude about expressing a choice. The only close to asshole thing he did was make a face when he saw what the food was, but that was nothing when viewed through the lens of the complete encounter. Because of the face and only the face, it'd be a light esh at best. I'm proud of Oop for disengaging from the circular arguments to go and make his own food instead of continuing the argument or telling her to make him something. Even prouder that he didn't fall for the manipulative tactics that the GF tried to pull with food. From then on, I found it really weird that she claimed that him not wanting them to cook for each other anymore was a decision he couldn't make on his own. I think his GF is childish. I understand Oop. I would not want a salad in winter. Now I live in Australia, currently summer ATM 38C. I'm having some salad as it's hot as. But yeah, blown way out proportion. But I'll remember when I was in the start of my relationship and had petty fights like this, look back and so embarrassed. But simply, if you don't like what's served, then make something you like, no big deal. But I always ask before I even make a meal, what do you feel like? I normally give options. I may be on the outside here, but I totally agree with this guy. I do have an eating disorder, so I'm super OCD about my food, and I would prefer that someone not make a big deal out of me not eating something just because they put their holy hands on it. Honestly, getting upset that someone else doesn't want to eat what you cook is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. The only cases that I would be upset is if I had coordinated prior and a significant amount of work had gone into preparing the meal to their tastes. But to be that upset over a refrigerated salad, I honestly think he was being reasonable. She can't handle someone else's preferences, so she shouldn't be responsible for that person's needs. Plain and simple. If this was his medication and she tried to dictate what she thought he needed and got angry when he took his medication as prescribed, it would highlight how stupid this is. Honestly, I hope the relationship ended because it is not healthy. I genuinely didn't understand how he was the asshole. Is chicken salad different to what I'm thinking? Because I know it as chicken breast from a can. Mayo, sweet relish, fry seasoning, and boiled egg whites if you're feeling fancy. It isn't exactly a 3-course meal. He also didn't demand that she make him hot food. He fixed himself up something warm to eat and ate. Then she pulled the whole, "I won't cook for you then" thing. And he again didn't demand anything of her and made himself something to eat. She seemed pretty petty and he seemed over it. I really don't understand this at all. About 80% of the time my husband and I eat different meals. Most of the time we will share sides like mashed potatoes or broccoli, but there are a lot of things he likes that I hate. Our proteins are almost always different though. He eats almost nothing but chicken and I never really cared for it. But after I got COVID, I can't stand the taste of it anymore. I eat a lot of salmon and he grew up eating almost nothing but fish and now hates even the smell of it. He cooks for me. He's a chef. A lot, and I cook for him when he works, and neither of us complains about having to cook multiple things. Why make someone eat something they don't want?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.